President Biden is furious. He is fuming for many reasons. Now I'm going to address what's going on, why he is so upset, but why he's also telling us that this needs to end immediately. What's he talking about? Well, that's what I'm going to address in just a moment. All I ask is if you enjoy these daily updates, do me a favor, go ahead, hit that like button, and let's begin. So why is President Biden so upset? Well, it's actually pretty simple. When President Biden goes and gives a speech, or when his press secretary is trying to let reporters know what's going on, and they ask questions and she gives answers. Well, the answers and the questions are all about one thing. They're all about Israel. They're all about that $14.3 billion bill that House Republicans passed, and Democrats in the Senate said, no, we're not going to put that on the floor. So President Biden is furious because he is now attempting to talk about jobs, our economy, the government funding bill, what he wants to see in it. He wants to talk about student loan forgiveness. He wants to talk about Social Security. He wants to talk about abortions. He wants to talk about all these different things, but yet everybody only has questions about one thing. What is going on with Israel? And why are we so slow to get anything done? Well, I can tell you one of the reasons why we are so slow. The main reason why we are so slow is because Congress is attempting to pass a government funding bill. President Biden would love to talk about that, but most people don't want answers on that because we know we are at a standstill. We got House Republicans that say they want to spend $14.3 billion for Israel, but they're going to take that money out of the funding for the IRS. Well, if they do that, then President Biden and White House aides have stated that they need more money to go to the IRS in the upcoming government funding bill. So essentially what was happening right now is Republicans say, okay, we're going to take money, we're going to give money to Israel, but we're going to pull from the IRS in order to fund that. And Democrats say, okay, that's fine, but we're going to give $14.3 billion in additional funding to the IRS because you are pulling that money to give to Israel. And if we do that, that has to happen in the upcoming government funding bill, which needs to pass in the next 6 days. Do you see why this is so important? This needs to end immediately. Okay? President Biden wants to see this issue with Israel end now. But that's not the only thing. We did hear from Ukrainian officials, and they believe that this war between Ukraine and Russia is about 70% over. They feel that they have about 30% left. Okay, left to go. Well, we've been in this for 2 years? So 30% still a long ways to go. But if we are close to getting past this, and one of the things that the United States is currently trying to figure out is how do we provide an additional $60 billion to Ukraine? Well, if they're about 30% or 70% over, and I'm not talking about Ukraine is done, but if this war is about 70% over with, then do we really need to send an additional $60 billion to Ukraine? And could the money for Israel come out of Ukraine's money? Which again, where is that money coming from? Now, here's what you need to understand. President Biden wants answers. He wants answers from the U.S. Congress, which he's not getting. He wants answers from Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel's prime minister. He wants answers from Iran as well. Why does Iran feel that they need to continue hammering and trying to hurt U.S. soldiers over in Syria and Iraq? This is why President Biden is so upset. But what we are now hearing is that he's trying to figure out which is the first thing he needs to address, which is the priority. And so he goes out there and tries to give a speech, and everybody asks the same questions, right? That's what we're seeing. Good news though. In his recent conversation, he had a reporter actually fell down. It wasn't President Biden, and President Biden actually joked about it that, well, it wasn't him that fell down this time. That's good news. So that's what's happening at this time. President Biden is a little bit upset Well, more than a little bit upset. He is furious about what is going on. But as of right now, according to many experts, there doesn't look like there's going to be a lot of solutions. It looks like we're just going to continue spinning our wheels. We'll see what happens in Israel, what happens in Gaza, what happens with Ukraine, what happens with the U.S. Congress. And again, keep in mind, we're less than 1 year away from the next presidential election. So, as we get more information, I promise I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. All I ask is if you enjoy these daily updates, do me a favor, go ahead, hit that like button. Also, click that subscribe button and tick that notification bell so you never miss an update. And I will see you guys on the next one.